Hello everybody, my name is Brandon Jones. I'm the editor-in-chief of GameTrailers.com, and if you didn't know it, I like to talk about trailers so much that I made my own show and I brought my friends here, so let's do it. Let's all go to the trailers. I'm joined by Mr. Kyle Bossman.
I love trailers.
Yes, we all know this. Daniel Bloodworth.
I watched him before Kyle this week.
I know, you beat him. Bloodworth came in my office like, I'm ready to go. Where's Kyle? And Kyle's
loves
just
trailers more than I do this week.
Doing your own show or something. But we're all here, we're collected, so let's jump in.
Come on in, you're missing the fun.
You'll never get me alive, you robotic son of a bitch!
So, Borderlands is pretty wacky, and this trailer's wacky. It's a wacky Borderlands trailer, right? You should be happy with the wacky Borderlands trailer. You disagree with the wacky moniker, Kyle?
Yeah, this is the wrong kind of wacky, at least.
What? I'm gonna classify the wackiness, but it is wacky.
Classify this wackiness, yeah.
What's with the chromatic aberration on that text?
It's like I forgot to put my 3D glasses on. And it starts off, you know, it seems kind of typical. The font I recognize, you know, and the gameplay looks okay. And yeah, they're playing up couch co-op, so we see people on the couch. Okay, I get that. And then we see more people on the couch. And then we see some more people on the couch.
Look at those costumes.
And then we realize this is a couch trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have some issues with this trailer. This trailer seems to me to have been made by people that did not make any of the other Borderlands trailers. And usually there's like a clear difference, you know? It's like, we'll get the whole campaign and then all of a sudden some weirdo TV spot comes along and it's like, whoa, what's this? Like live action or CG or something. And it's like, oh, okay, that's the super high budget thing that you wanted everybody to watch. And then all us gamers, like the community that really like is excited and will show up no matter what for this game, we get all the gameplay stuff, the developer interviews. But this is like a weird usage of both sides of this. You know,
yeah.
It's kind of masked as a traditional Borderlands trailer, but it is very much not so. At first, I was kind of excited about it. Like I thought, like, wow, these people playing on the couch. Like the Wii was the only, Nintendo was the only people who was really making.
Wait, they just show the final boss? What the heck was that?
Oh no.
Well, we didn't know it was the final boss
didn't
until
know.
you told us, Blood. But now everybody knows. I'll be sure to put that at some random point in watching the video so people don't know exactly what you're talking about. It's not that I don't want to see people on the couch. Borderlands games are wacky, their trailers are wacky, and yet it seems like the cosplay couch is like the only thing that's really in tune with what's happening in Borderlands. And I actually don't object to the CG aspect of them, like, whoa, that shield just flew out of the television. Like, I don't think this trailer needs a disclaimer at the bottom that's like, shields do not actually come out of the television while you're playing Borderlands. But the fact that everyone is so, like, the environments are so polished and everybody's so pretty and everybody's so well put together, it just strikes me as a massive missed opportunity to have each one of these people playing Borderlands themselves be completely wacko. You know, like, I mean, this seems like something that you would bring up to Randy, you know, at Gearbox, or to somebody else in development staff, and they're like, what are you talking about? And it's like, that trailer with the couch, and they're like, oh yeah, we had nothing to do with that. That was a whole other team that thought that maybe we had the idea to really sell the couch co-op. I guess, you know, not to skip over you, Kyle, but like, how big is 4-player split screen, Blood? Because you've played more Borderlands games than any of us in this room.
I think it's helpful, especially for, say, a stream, to have everybody there on that same screen and people can watch whoever they want to watch. When they show some of those shots, they don't seem to bring it up as much as like full high definition. I'm like, great, you're pointing out the fact that it wasn't HD before even. I thought it was funny at the beginning, and I stopped paying attention because I got so distracted by all this other stuff. But like a lot of the pull quotes were from Borderlands 2, almost as an acknowledgement that like, yeah, the writing was a little sharper in 2 than it was in the pre-sequel.
That's funny.
This is where your fun stuff comes from. But yeah, like a lot of it, like people don't seem to be into the things flying at them. Like they actually seem kind of worried. It's like, oh crap, that grenade! I didn't expect that to happen. You know, and it's like, I don't want grenades blowing up my living room. How about that?
If I could editorialize for a second, I think that 2K thinks that this collection will sell more than it is going to sell. And I think that comes across.
I think that you're probably wrong. You are underestimating this franchise.
I'm underestimating this franchise. Yeah, sure. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how well it does. I think that Blood, I think it's coming from that perspective. I think they're looking at their sales from the past and like looking at other HD collections. They're like, oh, we're gonna do more than that because we're Borderlands, and so we need to spend a lot of money on our trailer. Let's get models. Let's get a real set. Honestly, Brandon, I feel like it's not this commercial is not targeted at us. I think it's targeted broadly. It's like, hey, let's get normal college dudes. Let's get fancy ladies who shop in New York. Let's just get models. Let's get people who are models to want to play our game. And so I don't know. It seems like a very weird appeal. I'm not into it. It seems not self-aware when every other single Borderlands trailer is very self-aware. To have Claptrap come out at the end and like fail to joke, just kind of flounder and then get shot at and just like whimper away is so weird. It feels weird.
I want to live in a world where we don't do this anymore. Where we don't hire an actor to play someone enjoying a video game. That almost makes me like ill. It almost makes me want to throw up on my desk. Because it's just like, one of the things that really depresses me about trailers is that distance. Is like you said, like this isn't made for us. And it's like, I don't know who, I think I know who this was intended for, but I don't think this was made for anybody. Like I don't think there's anybody really that is going to play that, maybe like a 10-year-old, I don't know. It just frustrates me because one of the things that Borderlands does, that every franchise does this, that Borderlands does really well, is being completely out there with their trailers and being totally in your face, and not in a way that they think being in your face is cool, you know, or they think their jokes are funny, like, you know, like they said gazillion guns when they sold Borderlands 1, and then they 2 gazillion guns when they did the sequel, like commenting on the fact that we realized that our advertising for Borderlands 1 was ridiculous. And I thought it was just on a nice track, and this feels like a gigantic step back, where it's like, this is our audience, these are the people, and it's like, I know for a fact, and I can't believe that you're assuming anyone believes that any of these people are actually playing a video game. There's no TV in front of them. Like
the controllers aren't on.
Yeah, the
controllers are not on. They really aren't. They really are not.
It's just insulting on so many levels, and is not only something that I never want any trailer to do for any game, but something that I would never have expected Borderlands to do. I thought Borderlands was better than this. Yeah. And, you know, it's not like shame on you for doing that. I mean, whatever. It's a trailer. It's no big deal. But you're certainly got a bad score from this show.
Pillow tantrum.
For all the text that pops up in this trailer, all I see is the word fake. It's just fake, 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 fake. And that's not why I would want to play Borderlands. I would actually want to get into Borderlands because I am absorbed in this world. I do love Pandora. I do want to go back to it, or bring friends into it that haven't played before. And this trailer insults my intelligence. 5.5. Stop it.
Wow.
Nice.
Good production values. I mean, good special effects. That's why it's not below a 5.
Controllers that make me mad get below a 5, so I'm gonna give this one a 3.8 because it makes me mad. I actually do this. The only self-awareness I see is at the end when he's like purchase intent and /Facebook. I love that. Thank you.
I forgot that was in there. Yeah, thank you, Kyle.
I like that part, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, I made it clear. This makes me frustrated and angry.
Yeah, I had this a little bit higher, but the more I watch it, like I'll put it down a little bit lower. Probably not as low as you guys, like 6.5. Some fun to this trailer, but there's a lot of stuff that's weird, and some of it has nothing to do with the trailer, but more to do with the game. And it's like, you hid the fact that you were making this when you released the pre-sequel, and everyone bought the pre-sequel and season pass at full price, and now they get that stuff with the with Borderlands 2 and all of that stuff for $60. You know, it's just a couple months later. That's a little shady with the dealing. So.
And just finally, and I know I'm kind of like beating a dead horse, but like, I love people playing like Evil Within, or there was another scary game that did the same thing, or like PT, I believe it had that trailer where like you'd see people playing PT.
Right.
And it's like so genuine, and like it's so cool that we can do that in advertising now. And we have our Eve trailer from last year that was so marvelous, where you had like all the VO from actual play sessions, and I just think we're there. I just really want to move in that direction. I think that's totally something Borderlands could do. They could have a big fun event at some, you know, at a bar or at you know, the GameWorks or something, and then, you know, set up a bunch of TVs and actually record people having fun with the game and chiding each other, and actually get real reactions that would probably cost less than it costs to make this trailer and have way more of an impact. So,
excellent point.
Don't do this.
800 years ago, the last Inquisitor hunted a great dragon.
You've got to tell me what's wrong with this, because there's something wrong with this trailer, and I can't put my finger on it.
The beginning's real slow. I didn't get into this beginning until, I'm trying to think about how long the actual full trailer is. Probably like
the establishing shots I like. I think the VO is really throwing me off, though. Like, they say kind of the same thing like 4 times in a row. These many years ago, this thing happened, and now it's happening again. Like, different ways, just over and over and over.
Have any of us played Dragon Age?
I played a lot of Dragon Age.
Okay. Are you excited for this, based on your experience so far in the game?
No, but I think if someone loves Dragon Age, this is a good trailer.
I love Dragon Age the franchise. I haven't played Dragon Age, and there was a moment about 65% of the way through this trailer where it got me, where I actually like felt my soul swelling because I don't know, the music kicked in and there's just a lot of gameplay, and I think for something that's clearly like an offshoot where it's like, oh, and then there's this random area and this bad guy, and go stop him. Okay, you're done. Expansion over. I thought was honest. Like one thing that I mean, it's clear to me that there is some bad guy that we're seeing. That's that like the final guy we're fighting at the end there with the big glowing hammer, right?
I don't know. He could be like a random dude.
That would be my prediction. That maybe that's they seem to prominently feature him, so I'm guessing like maybe that's the bad guy. And they show him kind of when they're talking about a lot of the trouble. Lots of Archer for the win in this. Lots of bow usage, not lots of spells. But I like that the trailer is honest in setting up like this is just a side adventure. You know, this is not like, oh, what you did in actual Dragon Age doesn't compare to this. It's like, nope, this is just an extra thing. And I think that also backs up the fact that, like, you know, they hadn't announced this by name before we found out about it, like, right before it came out, right? Andrea Renee famously said on Twitter, she was like, what happened? Dragon Age what? Like, the day it was available. She's like, oh, man, like, whatever I'm doing right now, I got to stop doing and rush home and check this out. And I've always been a big fan of that, of just, you know, capturing that excitement and that, you know, don't build up too much anticipation, especially if it's just for an extra thing. So again, I think it would be a mistake to sell this as more than what it is and to create too much of a lead into it, because then people are kind of sick of it, because it's like, you know, there's only so much footage you can show of this. You know, It's like there's obviously not that many environments, not that many new enemies, because it is just a standalone offshoot. But I haven't seen this trailer in a day or two, Blood, so like I don't remember the specific lines of dialogue. So I'm curious to go back and revisit it. Yeah.
Well, the one thing is interesting because you mentioned the music, and I felt like the music in a way, like it just didn't feel matched up as well. Like it almost felt like it was too epic for what was going on. I'm like, okay, yeah. They're fighting some guys, you know, like that's great, but like this feels like really grand, and I'm not feeling it from what I'm looking at exactly.
I think the difference is there's a difference between the grandeur of your personal character. Like I don't get the feeling that this is a huge deal to you. But I do like the idea of, you know, traveling to this realm and helping these people that, you know, have long been persecuted or their lives endangered or whatever by the evil forces at work.
Yeah, I definitely like the, you know, what the tribal or cultists or whatever they're called. I like their character designs a lot. I think that stands out pretty well.
Obviously, the dragons are a centerpiece of this. They look a little bit different, and their abilities look a little bit different from what I've seen. Kyle, your big thing is that DLC needs to tell you what it's doing that's different from the main game.
Yeah.
And different seems to just cover this thing.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's a good DLC trailer. Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate that each of the shots that is showing the environment also has your party in it. I think that's actually very important. It's showing like, hey, you're gonna explore this with your buddies, and you know, shows like fan favorite characters even. So I think that's a good idea. I really appreciate where it starts and every epic sweeping shot has your party in it. I think it's really cool.
In a game like this with a lot of character customization, do you think it's smart to show a difference in abilities to cater to whatever playstyle people like to have?
Yeah, that's why it's cool they showed Archer, yeah.
So if I'm a big, but they mostly showed Archer. So if I'm a big mage and I'm like, well, I'm just seeing lots of arrow play in this, and that's not necessarily how I don't really play from range. I'm a warrior. I really get up in there. Or, like you said, would you want to focus on a very specific party and kind of suggest, like, what if your party was this? Okay, now this party is going to go through this adventure.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny. It's kind of, you had to look at it in respect to other trailers where they did show a lot of mage moves. Do you know what I mean? And so it is kind of different already to show archery more. You get more to mind from there.
Are you going to play this, Cal?
No. I'm going to keep, chipping away at Inquisition. I don't know if I'll ever get to the point where I can't fight a dragon yet. I'm not that leveled up yet.
8.2 for me. I have yet to experience Inquisition, and like I said, there was a moment in this where it started out and I was like, yeah, DLC, okay, new environments. I actually just started playing Bloodborne, so a lot of the environments they went into, I was like, it actually doesn't look to me as rich as, you know, some of the eye candy that is in that game. And then about halfway through, it got me.
Yeah, I give it a 9. It does everything I ask a DLC trailer to do. You know, it shows the new enemies. The new enemies have their own distinct weapons, and it's showing you that. I think some of the combat scenes are a little dorky. You know, they don't belong in a more like higher end trailer. But this is a DLC trailer, and I think that's cool.
Wow. Yeah, I wasn't feeling this one as much, so I give it a 6.8. and some of that I just can't put my finger on. It's just
the dialogue. You mentioned that.
Yeah, I think the dialogue is a thing, and I think the music doesn't feel like it just really syncs up as well as it could. But otherwise, like, yeah, there's just some other thing that just kind of feels off to me, and I don't really have my finger on it.
I want to do a montage of Kyle Bosman saying a score and you saying, "Wow."
Does that happen every week?
Not every week, but it happens quite a bit. It was not the most amazing week for trailers, so I was struggling to try to find that third spot. And I picked this because I got some issues with this trailer. First of all, no idea what this game's about. Don't have a clue. Don't have even close to a clue of what this game's about. And maybe that's on me. Maybe this is made by a developer that I should be familiar with, or this trailer already did get a teaser that maybe suggested the story, and now we're getting a close look at the game. Pretty environment. From what I can tell, this is like Black Friday the game. Like, we have a person who went to a mall to go shopping, and the mall closed down around them, and they were stuck in the mall, and then all of the irate shoppers show up and attack them. And then, you know, you gotta...
Is that a real movie?
You gotta knock down that person to get those deals.
No, he's talking about Black Friday.
Like the actual...
Yeah.
God. It sounds like a movie. It sounds like you could pitch a really good movie named Black Friday about that.
I actually feel like the Shakespeare quote gives it the context. That, like, this is... They try to make a utopian society, and something, you know, like, went off, and now you're, like, you're stuck on this island where everyone's gone crazy. And it's reminding me of something else I gotta put my finger on. So maybe, Kyle, you give some thoughts.
Brandon, I have to admit, I was shocked the way you introduced this trailer. I thought you knocked out of the park with this selection. I'm like, wow, Brandon really dug deep and found a winner here. I'm so into this trailer. I'm into it for showing gameplay, for showing its menus, for showing basically this exploration phase. Night falls, the music changes, it gets scary in the music, in the same way that it's still the same track that was there before, but now it's like a twisted version of it. And they don't seem like zombies, they seem like angry people. It seems like Black Friday the movie, and I'm scared. I like to just use... Combat doesn't seem like you're powered. You don't feel like Samus here. But it does seem like a Metroid game, you know, the way you pick up armor and you just like attach it to yourself. I actually really like that. Some equipment that you've attached to yourself.
So I figured out what it was. It's BioShock. That's what this is. I'm almost certain that it's very similar in that setup. It's a more modern BioShock.
It's really pretty. The frame rate's a little... Needs some
I mean,
work,
that's pre-alpha.
but,
I mean, Bloodborne looked about like that frame rate wise when we first saw it, or worse.
Bloodborne is still frame rate wise.
Yeah, that's got issues
in some parts.
I'm intrigued by this for sure. I think that some of this like menu UI stuff I don't know needed to be part of this just yet, because it doesn't really, like, I don't know enough to understand like what I'm looking at when I see the menu pop up there.
Oh, it's like, hey, whoa, this game has an inventory system.
But I think it's more compelling to me is what you were talking about earlier, where you actually bolt that stuff on, like that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like just the functional UI is like, yeah, okay, there's some stuff in there. What is that?
I need more. I need to know who I am. I need to know why I'm here. I need to know what I'm doing. I need to know... I don't need to know what happened, because obviously that's the game, you know, like you figuring out what happened, who's responsible. The environment looks real small. It looks like you could circle this thing in 5 minutes and you're done, you know. It just, wow, it's funny. I actually dig it. I like that we have very different opinions about this, because I watched this and I watched a dude walk around and then fight pissed people, and I was like, done. I'm just like, I'm hoping there's more environments than this, because again, it's just like we're visiting a lot of the same locations. Like, he's doing these panning shots of a billboard, and then he does like another panning shot of like the same spot, but now from the second floor. And it's like, that's a clear proof that you either need to put more context in your trailer, or you need to make the trailer shorter, or you need to just sell this a different way. I just needed I needed some more stuff here. Gorgeous though. I mean, a beautiful environment, and I could possibly be intrigued by a game like this if I knew what on earth was happening. 6.
Oh boy. So I'm gonna give this a 9.3.
Ba-boom! Wow.
I think, Brandon, it is really funny you bring up how small the space is. That one like video screen that shows like a wavelength, a waveform, you see that I think in probably 30% of the shots, maybe more. It's like every other shot you see that exact same billboard. I think that might be more of an issue of, you know, the trailer working with what the game has given them. You know, that might be all that's done right now or something. So I don't know. I can't really fault the trailer for that too much. I'm okay with that, and I think it uses its music really well. You know, I always appreciate that. I love the shot where the lights come on. It's dark, and then you turn the lights on, and you get to see everything shut on. So that's a cool moment in the game, and they chose to use that in a cool moment of the trailer. And so I think it's smartly directed and paced. I like this trailer a lot.
Yeah, I like it. I think it looks surprisingly good for something that I've never heard of before, and doesn't seem to be all that big. I do think that, yeah, introducing a game with like rough frame rates and that kind of thing, like I don't know how people manage to mask that in other bigger games, but I think that definitely is it kind of strikes a bit of a bad first impression. I also feel like in the beginning, like you have a lot of music and you're not able to hear the game at that point, whereas in a way I feel like this is one of those games, again going back to BioShock, where if you have areas without music, like that can have impact. You know, like what is the tone, what is the atmosphere of this world sound like, and that can make a big difference. A little more middle on this one, like 7.6 for me.
That is it for the first part of Let's All Go to the Trailers. We are going to watch a trailer that, coming up, we have never seen before, called Friendship Club. That's what this is, isn't it? That's what this is.
No,
okay.
That's a fish in a barrel. You picked a fish in a barrel this week.
Once a week, we have our own little trailer Friendship Club. Do we think this is like an ironic title? Could this be like a horror game? Just you're not anticipating it? Like, oh, you know, it's like a play on it? Or is this clearly like some mobile friend thing?
It's a free-to-play...
You're in high school, probably? You're in a school, probably.
Okay, cool. I like
that,
It's like
Persona without the monsters.
We're thinking Breakfast Club now.
We're gonna... No, because they're too attitude-y. We're not gonna have attitudes in this game.
Yeah, it's
only
like,
smiles.
It's like, you know, like dating games, like dating apps and stuff like that. You know, like where you're dating fake characters and stuff like that. It's like that, but you're friends. Friendship Club.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Oh, man.
Oh, so it is ironic.
Yeah.
Oh, I have heard about this. Oh, I should have known.
It's like a multiplayer bullet hell? What?
Yeah, the bullets don't stop.
Ooh, also very short. That's probably our shortest trailer yet.
That is our shortest Let's Watch of all time.
So we gotta be fast. We'll be fast about this.
I mean,
well, the game is fast. The trailer's fast.
It's just long enough for you to figure out what's happening.
Well, I mean, you know, it's it's 4-player, you know, versus.
What's up with the rugs? There's something up with the rugs.
I think that's character select, or something. Maybe I
don't know.
Maybe
There's
that's your
like rugs on the
something?
floor that match each color.
So I guess I would show actually longer shots of your game because it is so frantic.
Yeah.
Maybe one entire play session I think would work too. Because like the whole scare of, you know, bullets lasting forever is that, you know, when it gets down to just 2 people and you still have those bullets left of the first 2 people that were shooting stuff, and you're still trying to, you know, dodge the bullets and survive.
And also, I think it's overly short. I think you're selling yourself short with this trailer.
Yeah, for sure. Because you could totally get some tension out of this, just to get one really great match. And what else is there to it? You know, is there any other, you know, types of modes or weapons or what? Yeah, what do you got going on here? Actually, it looked like there was a quick menu shot of something.
They answered that question in a fraction of a second, I guess.
Yeah, maybe the rugs represent like who's in the game.
I think they might be your spawn points.
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, it also looked like the finger might have been like a guy that had gotten shot and he was trying to crush somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, how long? I mean, you don't want to drag it out. I mean, if you have an indie game with a really simple concept,
right?
You don't want to go on for too long. But yeah, it is short. But it might be intended for that because I have a feeling I've seen a trailer for this game before. I think I've seen, you know, something because I knew the trick and I should have known the title. That was my bad. It's just kind of there. It's a little short thing. That's a 7.
That's just kind of there. Little short thing. Yeah, I'll give it Yeah, I'll give it a 7.5. I really wish you showed the shots for longer, but hey, it's hard to be mad at a short trailer. Also, I think the choice of VO and music fits, and so I think that was not bad.
I was just asking that, actually. I was just about to ask that, what you thought of the VO. I'm a silly guy. Play this fun little game. Don't think anything more of it. That's all it is. Moving on.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I go with the 6.5 on this. I mean, it's fine. It gets the point across, but it's definitely way too short.
I think we should talk about this trailer for like 20 minutes. Or not. Let's move on.
Sorry, I've got to go. Stay safe, Barbara. You still know how to make an entrance.
So there were three other trailers of note for three super awesome games. One, Batman Arkham Knight, Officer Down gameplay. I can't remember if there were cuts in there. You just watched it, Kyle. Were there any cuts, or was it one long continuous?
It didn't feel like there were
They did
cuts.
some cuts near the beginning where you're getting story from Commissioner Gordon, but after that, it seems like raw gameplay, which is crazy.
I gotta say, this has gotta be the most convincing Batman thing I've seen yet, personally. Like, I was really pumped about this from seeing it. Like, they did a really good job just, like, playing more smoothly than any person ever would, for one.
Yeah, pro. Definitely pro.
You're gliding around just, like, perfectly going in and out, and it's like, it looks like it's entirely scripted.
But also starts with that thing where it says captured, this is raw gameplay captured, and I love that. I love for any game trailer to do that.
I think we have rightfully been giving a lot of credit to trailers lately that just give you a nice chunk. I mean, Valkyrie had a really great, the trailer before that was just one continuous thing of gameplay.
But there is a full story arc to this too. I mean,
Exactly,
it's partly the mission design that like they've structured that mission to play out that way. But yeah, like just everything through it and the music cues along the way, and it's really well done, and you see a lot of the potential of where else you could be going.
People really like the cheeky button press commands, where it says, I'm going to even the odds. And it's like,
L1.
Even the odds, press
I love it. I gave it a little nod and just
But clearly, this is the first time you get in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's not, call Batmobile.
Even the odds.
It seems like very early on in the story. This might be the first time you bump into Gordon. Maybe not the first time you talk to him, but maybe the first time
the
you see him in
cops are
person.
still out on the streets for a while. I mean, I think that's significant.
And, so I think that was smart. It doesn't spoil a lot. It's pretty generic. It's like, how many times have we heard Gordon say, like, Batman does that every time? I thought that was, like, a little cliche, but...
Also, honestly, really good trailer for the week where you announce a delay.
Yeah.
That's a good time for this trailer to come out.
Because that was one of my big questions. It's like, okay, Batmobile's cool, but, like, how does that work? Like, are you gonna... Because it's like a first-person shooter where they have to have the point where you get kidnapped and thrown in prison and we take all your weapons away and you gotta stealth the way out. It's like, they just can't help but do that. And it's like, obviously, there's going to be points in this game where we don't have access to the Batmobile. And so I think the big question people have, before finally, I'll pre-order it, I'll get my awesome PS4, let's do it. How exactly does this Batmobile work? And I still have some questions, but we definitely got, he's out of it, he's in it, he's out of it, he's in it. And they definitely showed that off. And, I don't have to tell you, I'm excited for this game. And this trailer didn't make me any more excited for the game because I was already there. Another game I'm super excited for, and I need to play episode 2. I have not caught up at all. We got the launch trailer for Game of Thrones. Interesting that I felt bad because I'm like, I gotta watch all these trailers, and it's like, is this gonna spoil something that, oh man, now seeing the trailer for episode 3, it's gonna spoil all the stuff in episode 2. And there was one thing that was spoiled, but it did, personally, I don't really, I don't mind spoilers, but I thought they also did a good, it was good at not necessarily, like, divulging everything. There still were lots of questions. Ends with the big dragon,
Always
that's kind
end
of a
with
fun
the
reveal
dragon.
that he just, like, bumps in there.
Yeah, but we had 2 trailers in with a dragon.
Right,
yeah.
But I haven't seen, I haven't done episode 2, but I don't think there's any dragons in that. So, thankfully, they've gone through 2 episodes of Game of Thrones without showing dragons, so they held off until now.
Yeah, I don't know how good that trailer was because I was too distracted by the animation.
You don't dig it?
Ooh.
It's when you're showing me a representation of something I've already seen the real life version of, it's real hard.
And that was bizarre in the first in episode 1. This isn't talking about trailers, but because the first episode of Game of Thrones introduced us to a lot of characters we didn't know, and the first character we did was Marjorie, and they literally, like, the door opens and like, it's like everyone else looked okay, but for some reason you look totally weird because I know you're supposed to be like a real person. And thankfully, I think almost, with the exception, I think Jon Snow we see for a second, but like a lot of the characters we see in this one are characters we're not familiar with in the show. So yeah, that is weird, but that's, you know, a personal thing. What are you gonna do? I mean, certainly not something you should, like, you know, shy away from when you're doing the trailer. You got it. It's got to be dialogue driven. It's got to be.
I mean, that in a way, you know, that helps bring people in. Well, if it's done well enough, maybe it turns people away if it's not.
And a shorter narrative experience than a lot of things you're focusing on. It's kind of like reminiscent of a DLC. It's just a small chapter. You only have so many lines of dialogue to use in the trailer. And so I always am fascinated by, you know, Tales from the Borderlands or Walking Dead, you know, just kind of like what did you choose to pick and focus on. And finally, Mortal Kombat has had a lot of really great trailers, but a very interesting trailer that specifically focused on motion capture. And I thought it was fascinating because it's like a double-edged sword. On one end, they have all of this amazing technology that they're using. It's incredible that, like, they can have all these characters in there, that they can run all these scenes with all of these actors, and at the end of the day, we can see the final product. And yet, at the end of the day, it kind of like dropped it down for me a little bit in production values, because it's like, no, they're not really in a helicopter. It's a bunch of guys in a room, you know? It's like, did that pull the wind out of your sails a little bit?
Oh, I had a very similar feeling, but mostly because those actors are doing a great job, and you can tell they're not doing facial capture because it is not translating to the character models at all. So you're seeing these actors really perform and do actually interesting expressions even when they're not on camera. And then, you know, you just see it transformed into like these action figures that were like our puppets. And so that part kind of lets me down. Clearly they're not Last of Us scale facial capture, but yeah, maybe don't show us this side of the production. We weren't curious.
There were some things that I thought were really funny. Like, I don't know if you saw at the end, he had like a baseball bat that he's using as the joystick for the helicopter.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter.
It's a prop, yeah.
Which I can accept. It's not like I see this and I'm like, no way, that's how they do it. Like, you can imagine they just literally just need something for reference. But two things that I thought might have not been the best choice for this trailer. One, to have us see everything at all times. I think it'd be better if you kind of artfully transition between the elements. Maybe kind of like show us the beginning and show us the storyboards, and then show us the mocap, and then go into the actual cinematic. So by the end, we're completely, which they do, they actually go full screen on the game at the very end. And I think it was a bad scene to show because you inherently have these characters in danger because they're on this helicopter, and yet none of the actors are I mean, they're not in danger obviously because they're acting, but it's weird to see them in a vehicle and then compare that to them on a stage in completely inert, you know, not moving around.
Oh, you'd rather them like walking around and like talking to each other. Yeah,
just see a scene that's just a normal scene, you know, like don't have a scene that ends in a cliffhanger because it's like, well, I'm not worried about Johnny Cage because I'm pretty sure he doesn't die in a helicopter crash, and I'm not worried about these actors because they're not in a helicopter, and it's just weird. It just kind of seems to want to play up tension, and it's just not there at all. Yeah. And for me, I couldn't help but just smirk at it because I noticed things like the baseball bat and just them like, oh, let's walk over to the beginning of the, you know, or let's walk over to the cockpit, and it's like, let's just walk over to these chairs, you know.
Yeah. Well, and I think, you know, like, again, Mortal Kombat has this goofy, campy dialogue, and it just feels even weirder when you see a real person saying these words. It's like, okay.
Well, not saying them though. I mean, the voice actors are not these actors, or are they? I don't know. Like, were they actually speaking in the footage? Because the audio we're hearing is from the final product, and yet we're seeing these people perform. Sometimes you get the actor, but like across the board, to literally have every single performance of every single character in your entire game be both the voice actor and the performer.
I'm going to say it's not likely.
If you got something like Troy Baker, then like, yeah, get him to do the whole thing, you know, for Second Son or for Shadow of Mordor. But every single person, I don't know. That one guy in the corner that's like, I don't know. You know, it's like, did that guy do the voice? This one actor is this one line. So I got the impression that they were lip syncing, that they were actually like.
They were very in sync though. They were nailing that.
Oh, because this is like the 50th time they've probably done it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You just rehearse these things like crazy. I don't know. I'm actually curious. I'm curious to let us know what you guys think in the chat. If you guys dug it, or if you think somebody hopefully is like, hey, I was on the staff and here's how we did it. That would be lovely.
Oh man, would I love that.
Kyle, you just went nutso for that Dragon Age Inquisition trailer. You really like P.A.M.E.L.A.
I give P.A.M.E.L.A. a higher score. That's my trailer of the week. Yep. I guess there's no backing down now.
Oh god, I want to say Dragon Age, but I'd probably just go by Batman by default. I literally just like went down the list and I was like, oh wait, Batman's on this list.
Yeah, but it's a really good trailer. It's worth saying.
Yeah,
it was different and really effective.
I did need it. I actually did need that little surge. I wasn't upset with the delay. I can deal with that. I can wait 3 more weeks. I can't deal with reviewing that game during E3. Not sure how that's gonna work out. But that little surge there, I needed that. What do you think, Blood?
Batman's mine for sure. Like that actually, again, like that kind of sold me from like, okay, this is the same old thing to like, oh, I really want to play this game. This is gonna be great. So
if Pamela turns out to be terrible, I can make fun of you, Kyle?
Absolutely.
If the next trailer's god awful, I can be like, today the only trailer we're talking about is Pamela.
I think that
the story trailer. This game could be amazing. I'm not saying anything. I just needed a little bit more there. But that is it. Those are the trailers. Those are our trailers of the week. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much, Kyle.
Sorry, I said thank you for Daniel.
You can say that. You say thank you for me. Are you?
Okay. Well, no, I stepped over him. I don't mean to do that. Bloodworth, you can say your own thank you now.
thank you.
The other issue we had this week is this episode is late, so I apologize for not showing up on Monday, but showing up on Tuesday instead. But had some homework to take care of, and hopefully we'll be on time next week. See you then.